See, when you go to sleep, I mean, for me, I want to wake up in a bed that is fluffy and peaceful, and then you want to look around in the surrounding and go, I'm waking up to a new day, and it's good.
You know what I want to do? I want to wake up to Kathryne Dahlman just like moving my ottoman going, no, it should be here, and me just going, thank you, God, thank you.
We're talking about how do you have a beautiful master bedroom? I mean, you know that statistics are going to show you that most of us, we put off doing the bedroom, like to the very end.
I know, but we deny ourselves the very place where we spend most of our lives.
Yeah,
right.
we're sleeping in this room that's probably cluttered.
In my case, it's a mattress on the floor with newspaper on the walls.
It's not bad, but I mean, you know, you probably have other things going on. All of us do. And we do other rooms. We do the kitchen. We do the living room. We do the rooms where we're going to show off to our friends and family because we're entertaining. And a lot of us, I mean, I think I'm guilty of it too. But when you go to the Pasadena Showcase House, which is opening tomorrow for the next month, when you see the master suite, I think you're going to really feel like you need to do something different to your bedroom because it is this very peaceful blues and whites and creamy kind of a color palette. And it just sets you to into this mood where you feel just at peace.
Well, just looking at these photos right now, I'm feeling like I might have to take a nap.
It's very relaxing and soothing. So we thought we talked with a designer who worked through the entire space, not only the bedroom, but again, the extensions of it. It's a master suite. There's a sitting room. There's a balcony. There's a his and her closet. There's a master bath. So Kathryne Dahlman did it. And Kathryne, thanks for being here.
Me.
Hi, Kathryne.
Hi.
So tell us first your inspiration for the color palette in the bedroom, because when you are looking at this Spanish Moorish home, right, that dates back to the 20s, the color palette included a lot of more vivid colors, some deep terracotta orange, for instance, and a deep bold cobalt blue, and then there's some turquoises in other rooms, but then there's also like a celery green. And so how did you come up with your colors for your bedroom?
Well, when we get the color palette from the Pasadena Showcase, you take it and you start to form your ideas. But I went looking for fabrics, and when I saw that blue and white fabric, I knew that was the one I wanted to use. But I wanted to use it in a way that it punched out the color, but everything else was soothing, quiet, for a master bedroom of relaxation, romance. So that's really how I started with mine.
Mm-hmm. And so you went to fabric first, because I'm always nervous about committing to a fabric.
Well, in this case, when I saw it, I knew it was what I wanted to do, and I love blue and white, and I think that that's appealing to an awful lot of people. But as I said, I also wanted to have the serenity of the creams and the whites.
Uh-huh.
You know, blue's a tough color, and you chose some amazing tones. How do people go out and find great color and they don't feel afraid and intimidated by that? What do you suggest?
Well, I think going through magazines is really a good way for people to see things that they like and also things that they don't like. So in this case, this is a big color. It's with 3 or 4 different blues in it, and it has a Moorish design to it. It's scary.
Kind of there's a bit of almost a navy in there.
There's navy
with like a Wedgwood blue.
It's
right?
got a little purple to it too. But I was lucky. After I found the fabric and I went looking for rugs, I found this fabulous furry blue, beige, and cream fuzzy rug, and so it just builds on each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like your process is that you'll go find different elements that don't necessarily have to do with what am I going to paint the wall. It's more like these artistic elements really speak to you, and that's what influences you, huh?
Generally, that's where I start. But again, I did know that I wanted to have a little bit more of a quiet background. The house was it's a beautiful house, and it already had a lot of these very bright colors in it. So for me, I thought going with the more serene background was the way to go. And then I have great punches of color in the contemporary art that we've used.
And the blues, you have, it's, I guess, some wallpaper, right? One of the walls has this design in it?
No, it's on the ceiling. We have something called tattoo wall, which is a really interesting process, if you'd like me to explain it.
Sure.
It's a digital art process that has been developed, so you do it on the computer. There's a special paper that it's applied on. You then apply it on the surface that it's going to stay on, and you put some water on it, and the paper disintegrates, and the paint then is absorbed into the surface it's on, and it's very fresco-like. Ours in the bedroom is a ceiling medallion with a lot of different designs in it.
It almost looks like lace.
It does look like lace. That's really, again, what we were looking for. Is
It's
not to
kind
have
of a cream on
something-
cream. It's very
Exactly.
textured, but not too heavy.
So wait, you apply this? It's almost like a decal onto the surface you're going to put it on.
I
And then
think our artist probably would say no decal, but yes, that is the way.
It's not an iron-on sticker or anything.
No, it's not an iron-on sticker, and it's not a rub-on with a
No.
piece of paper. But it really is. I think it's a remarkable product
That's
because they are
amazing.
using it a lot in Europe for restoration.
And you have a lot of that Asian ceramic style, which I think is so beautiful, the blues and the whites as a decorative accent.
Exactly.
And that can be, whether it's a garden seat, you have a couple of those sitting inside there, and some little, we'll talk about it, off to the side on the wall as your decorative pieces.
Yes, that's just throwing in some of the different designs. We do have a Moorish lamp, but in the sitting room, it does have a little bit more of the Asian feel to it. But I think you can mix that Asian Orientalist feel with the Moorish designs that we have.
well, you can because you're a genius.
No, you just kind of put things in, and you'll know if it's right.
And what I love about the bedroom area is that it doesn't feel like it's too feminine or too masculine. It's just a little bit of in between.
That's exactly what we were going for. We wanted to have, again, the punches of the contemporary art, but also the dark furniture. I thought that it was very dramatic to use that pattern fabric on the bed with the black bed with the spool on the posts, and then use beautiful, beautiful cream color frette linens. I mean, those are really luxurious.
Yeah, talk about waking up in that, huh?
Try going to sleep in it.
I bet. You'd be afraid that you're going to ruin it.
No,
No?
it's more practical.
No, it
than
looks
you think.
very livable. That's the complaint I always have. With my mom and dad have always been people that have like 1,000 throw pillows, and it takes about 20 minutes to get them off
Yeah.
and then get in the bed. But this looks very livable to me.
Well, I think so much of this is done for showcase. This is done for people to come through and see a whole home and get different kinds of design ideas. And in this case, we weren't having to do it for a specific person. So it was kind of, how would I like it? And that's
Right.
the way I did it.
And it is really soothing and great. So as you are looking back to, gosh, you've been working on this for several months, right? The way that the Showcase House works, it
Yes,
starts
yes.
early in the year and then it opens up in the spring.
Exactly.
But when you first looked at the bedroom, what did it look like before? Because when you picture a 1920s home, I mean, master suites really weren't, in existence. They weren't big.
Well, there's several parts to this master suite. There's a vestibule, there's the master bedroom, there's the sitting room. And their rooms aren't huge, but they're big enough to be able to house a desk and a table to sit at. And it had ceilings that were barrel vaulted. It was not. They didn't have a lot of things in it when we saw it the first time. And you start, as I say, it's like layering. You start to get ideas, and it forms then the big picture.
Uh-huh. And it probably felt kind of dark and dreary before, huh?
It was a lot darker. I have to say that was one of the reasons why we tried to use the plaster that we've used in there. It's a green product, and it has a little bit of a sheen, not shiny, but a little bit of a sheen, and there's a real softness to it when you look at it. And it has the variations of color, but it's not dramatic, so it's soft.
Mm-hmm. So paint a picture for everyone as you're in the master bedroom. You're in the whole suite, if you will, right? Once you go from the bedroom and you're seeing these blues, and as you mentioned, the kind of the chocolate brown of the bed itself, and then it kind of meanders to the bathroom, and the sink and the countertop is it just feels so fresh. What were the materials that you used?
Well, again, it was going to look to find what I liked and wanted to use a little bit of that Moorish idea, but I didn't want to do those real bright colors. So we found at Walker Zanger the chocolate brown, taupe, white, arabesque design. So we've used that with large tiles and small tiles and combined it with a new marble called sequoia stone, which is absolutely striking. And it has the taupe, chocolate brown, little white veins in it. It's a really, really beautiful stone to put on the counters. And we mixed that again with some white marble. Our floor is mosaic with little chocolate brown dots, and then the border. And in that case, I wanted to use the background design of these arabesque tiles, but then real clean, almost contemporary look. And the tile itself has an arch top, so the plumbing we used was square. The bathtub is square, the sink is square, the hardware is square, and it's, I think, a real interesting juxtaposition on the design, and I think it worked.
And
yeah,
I love
even the knobs too on the cabinetry is
Beautiful.
square, and it really does work well together. It's beautiful. That's what I first noticed.
And I have to say that working with different companies, Snyder Diamond in this case, it's like, what do you want? I was like a kid in a candy store. You mean I can have any of these things that I want to pick for there? And they were just extremely generous, but made different manufacturers available to us to put together what we ended up with.
Well, again, another lesson is you mentioned layering. You can layer different accents to give it that beautiful, rich,
Exactly.
romantic look.
And even down to the soap color. Do you
I
see
know.
how
It's
beautiful that
beautiful
is?
blue
It's
soap.
the blue soap.
Well,
it's
we're
amazing.
gonna pick Kathryne's brain a little bit more to set that romantic setting in your master bedroom suite, because darn it, we're gonna fix our bedroom finally. And wait to hear about the his and her closet as we take you on this virtual tour of the Pasadena Showcase House. You can call on in at 888-539-2980 as we're going to be giving away some tickets to see it on us. 888-539-2980. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole. Don't lose that love and feeling.
I still have it.
Don't lose it. We're
No,
back
it's
in a
there.
moment. So yeah, we want the bedroom to be sexy,
Yeah, we do.
right?
Yeah,
It's
except
gotta
I
be-
don't want that Right Said Fred guy anywhere near my bedroom. He's kind of creepy, I think.
Well, but
I
we
like the
it's
song.
a fun song.
Yeah,
Can we turn it up corny a little bit? Oh, yeah.
yeah. She's going crazy
Okay, so
again.
we love our music here at Home Wizards, and thanks for hanging out with us as we love to help improve your home and improve your life and improve your sexiness is what we do.
Yeah,
You
we want to sex
No
you
extra-
up
no
when it comes to
extra
bedroom
charge.
design.
Anyway, Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole here, and also with us is Kathryne Dahlman, who has really brought sexy back to the master suite in the Pasadena Showcase House. Were you thinking of sexy when you did this room? I mean, is that part of what you do in your
I think I
head?
take the fifth on that.
Oh, okay. As she says, she snickers. She's got kind of like a nasty snicker. Kind of wow.
Well, it is very. It's a little dark and cave-like inside that bed.
Yeah. But it is beautiful. So here we have a palette of blues and whites, creams, really, right? And it extends into the bathroom that you were just describing, that are these luscious tiles. What were you calling it? An arabesque
Arabesque
tile.
design.
Arabesque design with white marble and a little bit of veining with taupe and chocolate. I mean, it sounds like we need to put some fudge out there and roll it out.
That would be fine.
Yeah. So seriously, talk about the bathroom a little bit more. I noticed that the bathtub that
Well, the bathtub it's square. It has I think it's a beautiful design, actually. And it has air bubbles in it. Instead of a jacuzzi type, it's air bubbles, which is much more sanitary.
And it saves
just
water, right?
Feels just yummy when you're in the bathtub and the little bubbles all around you are coming in. And it has a really interesting bath. Instead of having the faucet sitting on top of the bathtub,
I noticed this. It's freestanding.
it's freestanding. It's square. It's so
Everything is
interesting
square.
looking. I think it's the most interesting piece we have in the bathroom. I love to look at it.
Is this a rule, like a design rule, where you kind of go against type in terms of you get one shape in terms of your tile, and then you went completely opposite with squared off everything in terms of the accents and the faucets and the bathtub, etc.
all the hardware.
Yeah, is that something that you could recommend to our listeners in terms
I
of a
think
design
that,
scheme?
if you're brave enough to do it, and I think that sometimes what you do is you look and you try and keep with the same shape, the softness. But in this case, when it is a showcase house, you can play a little bit more reckless with your ideas, because I know that it's going to work, but you put it together. And it did. And people can look at that and say, well, gee, I maybe can keep some of my old things. I can put some new things in there and that it'll gel. Your colors have to work. But layering, again, is a really, really big thing with the way I design.
And you have a square bathtub, but with a square faucet too, right?
Square bathtub, square faucet. And the other element in there, which we didn't talk about, there's a niche that's all mirrored. So with the way the bathroom is designed, the lady on one side, the man on another, and then the mirror, there are 3 mirrors for the vanities. You can see everything reflected as you walk in the room. You can see the shower reflected in one mirror. You can see the niche reflected in another, which reflects the walls. So the tile on the walls, it all comes into play.
It almost looks like a basket weave, the tile.
The floor is like a basket weave.
Yeah.
But the way the arabesque tiles have, we've just mixed them in, again, another design. And speaking of that tattoo wall, in the toilet room, that is the same product, but it's now done with heavier stucco feeling, and that's a little more fresco-like, because that isn't wallpaper. That is actually hand-done after it's done on the, digitally on the computer.
See, this is another reason, and again, I'm going to fall in love with you because seriously, I come from the general contracting world where I've had to participate in design elements, and then I've also worked with designers, and there's such a huge difference when it comes to the imagination and creativity that you guys have, and it's just such an art form, and I'm so grateful. And I would like everybody to really kind of always consider going the designer route, because you would never in a million years come up with these ideas unless you either A, saw them, or B, were working with somebody like yourself. So thank you for what you do. It's amazing.
Why, I thank you too.
Okay, now you can come to my house and help me with my bedroom.
Let's go to the closet, because the closet is also another beautiful area, another little destination, if you will. Right off the bedroom, you have his and her closets, and they look like they're kind of a mahogany.
It's sort of a terracotta. Well, the walls are terracotta, but now I did not do the closet storage. Envy did, but we worked together, and they did a little construction in there. And it's definitely a his and hers. And there's all sorts of little trick things that they have, mirrors that pull out, and some different kinds of jewelry, storage. And I think it fits really well with the design that we've done, and particularly because if you were standing in the bedroom looking at the bed, there's a door on each side of the nightstands, and one leads to the his and the other leads to the hers, and then they join in the middle.
And it feels very open and airy, even though you have these multiple spaces. It feels like it all kind of flows.
It does. There's a set of windows, or actually doors, that open up to the front, which they have left in, which I think is a nice look.
And you don't get this feel. There's so many little nooks and crannies and discoverable spaces in this home, but new construction really doesn't honor that much anymore, do they? It's such a great treat to see something like this. It really gives you that feeling.
I think so much of it has been left. We were able to do a little construction, taking out a closet and shortening the shower and the toilet room, because I felt that was super important to make the bathroom the way we wanted it to look. And I know that in the kitchen they did some construction. But all in all, they left the house the way it was, which I think is such a treat for people who come through to see old homes redone.
So, Kathryne, give us some pointers as we are anticipating taking the tour of the Showcase house. We're going to look through the entire mansion and get all kinds of great ideas on color and on style and on plants and everything combined. But then we're going to go back to our bedroom. After we see the Kathryne Dahlman bedroom, we're going to say, well, where do we begin? So give us in our head maybe 3 or 4 things that we should be thinking about as we're analyzing what's wrong with our bedroom, and something that we should do to make it feel more restful.
Well, I think at first you really need to establish what you want the bedroom for, other than romance.
Well, wait. Let me just interject. What you have to do first is remove the children from your bed. This is my biggest problem. They get in there, they mess everything up. I could never have this design until they're 16 years old and they're out of my house and out of my life.
Well, then find a little play space for them in the room and tell them not to get on the bed.
It's called a lock, I think. I'm going to put a lock on the door.
I think you've got it.
Yep.
But I do think that that's primary. Do you want a bit, do you not sleep well, so you need to have blackout curtains? Do you watch television? Do you do any work in the room? So you have to provide all those elements and hopefully provide a little storage for the things that I mean, my bedroom is full of clutter. That's just, I start on a project and I put it to the side and start on another project. So if you can find some places that you can store things, but also figure out exactly, again, what you're going to do in the room. Are you going to want to lock the door and be able to watch television or read? Provide that.
And I love that it's a restful space. I mean, at the very least, we're going to sleep in our bedroom. I mean, we're going to spend the most time of our lives in the bedroom, sleeping.
And I think that this particular bedroom where it's located, if there's a view any place. Now, we have 2 balconies, and outside the one very small balcony that's adjacent to the bed, we put these beautiful pots of succulents. And if you can look at something like that, if you just plant a little bit outside, so you can bring a little bit of the outside in. So when you wake up in the morning, you go, oh, it's a nice day. The plants look nice. I can get up and go to work.
Kathryne Dahlman, thank you for helping us to be inspired for a better bedroom and a better master suite.
I'm glad
Gorgeous.
you enjoyed it.
Thanks, Kathryne.
Really scrumptious. All right. Kathryne Dahlman, be sure to check out her suite and see her design as we all take this journey known as the Pasadena Showcase House. As we segue into hour 2, we're going to venture into the kitchen. This is a beautiful kitchen. It's got that La Cornue stove that you're coveting. And
beautiful.
The tile that's the backsplash. Wait to hear how they used a photograph to make this piece of art on tile of the house itself.
Oh, my goodness.
Home Wizards Eric Stromer. The fun continues after this.